right. Well, we'll wait for Logan to clean up his stinky cat situation.
I already did.
Oh, that was fast.
I have wireless headphones.
Wow. I had to switch to my wired ones because my wireless ones sound like garbage. But
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah. Well, welcome to the introductory session of Berserk Book Club. Thanks for being here, boys. I thought this would be a fun thing to do and an excuse for me to reread alongside others. So, yeah, I figured we would just, at least to start, kind of talk about like where we're at coming into the series and like what our interest is with regards to it, or like the things that we're kind of expecting going into it, because I know that only some of us have some exposure to it. So I guess if we want to just like go around the room, and I know we all know each other, but talk about, just say your name and say like what your experience is with the series, with manga, and like if you have no experience with the series, kind of what you know, if anything, and kind of what you expect, and like I guess like what kind of an experience you would want to get out of this sort of structure of doing things. So I guess let's start with Austin, since he's the top of the Discord call.
Sure. Hi, my name's Austin. I don't usually read manga or anything like that. I really don't watch that much anime either, but I wanted to give Berserk a chance. I know people say it's like the greatest manga ever and stuff to that nature. The only things I really know about it is that the main guy's name is Guts, or Gut. I'm not even sure at that part. I think it's Guts.
Yeah.
And that I think it's Griffith. Griffith did nothing wrong. That's the only two things I know,
Okay.
and that is a meme. So I have no clue. So
listen, what I can promise for you, buddy, is that before you know it, your name is going to be John Berserk in that Discord.
Okay.
For those that don't know, it's a running meme that Austin has his Discord name as John, whatever series he's currently associated with. Or did you? What is it right now?
John Judgment.
John.
Because I was playing Judgment.
Yeah.
Good game.
Yeah, they're good. All right, Logan, you're up next, buddy.
Hi, I'm Logan. I
Logan.
read manga sometimes and I watch anime sometimes, but I've been trying to read more, so this is going to be a great excuse. All I know is that it's really good, and I just hope it's not too gory.
Oh no!
I just hope there's not.
Oh no!
I said that sarcastically because I know
On a
there
scale
are
of
some. Yeah, no, that doesn't bother me. I was just being obnoxious. I was trying to figure out a way to say like, boy, I hope there's no blood and guts in this.
There's lots of blood and guts and blood. It's the thing.
But one thing that I'd like to get out of it is more discussions pertaining to like the themes
Oh yeah.
of the story.
Oh yeah. That's what I want to
old-
get out of this.
Yeah, that's
Good old
kind of
philosophy
fun.
discussion,
Yeah. I think you're gonna. We're gonna have some good conversations about that. There's a lot of philosophy in Berserk, or it could just get goofy. We'll see what ends up happening, but
Both is good. Both
yeah,
is good.
yeah. Malik.
Hello, I am Malik. I do watch, I'd say maybe almost an unhealthy a lot of anime, big amount. I don't read a lot of manga, unless it's just like short series or like some isekai trash. The rare exception is if something doesn't have an anime adaptation or the adaptation's not completed, I'll typically pull the cord on something really big. So Berserk is one of those things I've always said, like, I should probably read this because the anime is a big thing. For anyone who's watched it, it tends to be kind of inconsistent.
Yeah.
So I've watched anything animated that's Berserk related, And in terms of the manga, I have tried reading it a couple times. I've read up until, for those who know, the first Zod fight. I've read up to there a couple of times, and then I've read a few chapters where the anime finished off once Guts has the trademark armor.
Yeah.
And both times, like, I was having a fun time, but then something would just come up and I'd lose track of where I was.
Yeah.
So, 100% there with the themes. I think the themes of Berserk are awesome, and every time I see a video essay on YouTube about Berserk, I gotta watch it.
Yeah. The shitty thing about Berserk, and just about the only shitty thing about it, is that it's cursed to never have a good or perfect adaptation. And because of that, it's very hard to get people into it if they're not willing to read manga, which I totally get.
Yeah.
And
so I'm glad I'm here with the group.
Yeah.
I did have one question, not to sidetrack and not to make not to bring anybody down, but the mangaka is dead, right? Like he died.
So he died from an aortic issue with his heart in mid 2020. 2021. So essentially, Berserk is composed of, like 375 chapters is modern, but he got up to around 364 was the last one I think he wrote. And we'll kind of get into this with time, but fortunately, he did have assistants and people working with him, and he had a good friend of his named Koji Mori, who he confided with a lot in Berserk, and he helped with one of the most infamous scenes in the series, which I won't mention, but so he's familiar and he knows the ending that Miura had planned for the series. So him and Studio Gaga fucking Studio Gaga picked this up, and they've been going through and releasing chapters on a pretty regular basis, getting things to the end. So yeah, I don't know how much we have left, but from what I've heard and interviews and readings, at about the point that we're at, it's close to like the 80% story mark. So, I'm sure that they've probably accelerated things a little bit, not adding as much detail. But the stuff that they have put out has been good in these chapters. But yeah, so he's unfortunately passed away, and that's kind of a weird subject. I was actually thinking about this earlier because Berserk is such an influential series, and it's really important to me, but I didn't really, I guess, feel it when Miura died, and I think that part of that is because, like, this dude has led, like, such a private life. He's not out there and like Yoko Taro or Hideo Kojima, or, in manga, like other mangaka, are very, they're in a lot of interviews and stuff, and you see their face a lot. Like, I've only ever seen like one or two pictures of Kentaro Miura.
There's only one that's like official.
It's just like
it's in
one
black and
picture.
white.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild. Really?
Yeah. So
if you one very famous picture. I think there's one other now.
Is that really the only one? That's the only one I see in the video essays.
It's usually, like, it's this one of him drinking too that I see occasionally. But yeah, like, this dude is not, like, he was very private. Yeah. Which is wild because the shit that this man puts to page, I think is peak fiction. It's very interesting. But before I blabber on, Hiram, why don't you go ahead?
Hello. I'm Hiram. Everyone knows me, hopefully. So, I have a pretty strong relationship with Berserk, but in a weird way. My dad loved the Dreamcast game, and that's my introduction to it. And I kind of just like wanted to read it, and then as I got older, because I wasn't pretty much my dad was like, you know, you can play this game, but you can't like watch or read it until you're like 18. So eventually I did get to read it, and I couldn't put it down. I pretty much read all that was out at the time, which was like the third arc. I don't want to say any spoilers because only me and I've said it. Watch me and anyway.
Yeah.
Back to what I was saying. Anyway, I stopped reading it after he died, and I wanted to do this as a way to finally read the stuff after.
Yeah.
Because to me, like, even if it was like just as good, I just feel like there's something lost there. And I hopefully, as we read it, everyone will understand what I mean by the magic that was put to Cage by Miura. Like this series is magic. Like, it is like an art form that, sure, all these other people have done these great manga and anime, but like there's nothing like Berserk, and I don't think there ever will be again. And that's why I never continued after he died. And I want to read it, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So that's kind of why I'm interested in this.
Yeah, I think they're doing good work after it. So I'm Caleb. My experience with Berserk is I had heard that it was peak. I was in proximity to a friend of ours named Hayden, who I had heard blasted Berserk music in the shower.
He did do that.
So, yeah, so I remembered that, and I don't think that was the reason why I picked it up. I don't even think that there was an initial catalyst that really stands out to me, but sometime in like 2018 in college, I just started reading it, and it was kind of a similar thing with another series that I'm really familiar with, which is JoJo, but it just started there, and I just started reading, and it became my favorite, probably one of my favorite pieces of media, probably number one. Based on how well it was executed, and the themes and the characters and the surrounding media around it, and discussions online, people I've talked to, so another fun story. This series has brought me into relationships with people. Like for example, I was going to the gym a lot at our old apartment complex, and I met this guy there, and we ended up talking about Berserk and like Dark Souls and whatnot. And he was starting to read the manga, so I gave him, asked him where he was at, and I was like, oh, okay, you're right here. Like, let me give you like 3 of these deluxe edition books that are like $50 a piece, and I like 2 years down the line, I never got those books back.
Oh my god.
So that was a funny story, but in good faith, I'm handing out my physical copies to Austin this experience around, and hopefully I will get them back. But I thought it would be good for him to read that physically, and since he's local, I thought I would give that to him. But for the rest of us, there's a couple different ways about this. We can go about this. I do have downloaded copies that I can put on like a Google Drive or something, or I can email them. But if you literally just type in "read Berserk," you can go on to so many different sites to actually read it. You can go on to paid ones as well if you want, but there are free ones. So I would just skip anything that comes before 1. There was a sort of prototype that was put out after the fact, kind of like a prototype of what Berserk was supposed to be that was written beforehand, but we're just gonna start with 1. And
the prototype, if anyone reads the physical volumes,
it's in the middle.
It's in the middle and it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it completely threw me off the first time I read it.
Yeah, so I'll let Austin know once we get there, but that won't be until after the Golden Age.
That was the other thing I was going to ask.
It's pretty far in.
Yeah.
If I wanted to pick up a physical copy, just because I do better reading physical copies.
Yeah.
Is that pretty available?
Yes. So your options are these deluxe editions.
Oh, they're on sale too right now.
Yeah, so my strat was always buying them when they were on sale.
Okay.
You know, I know you've got a wedding coming up, buddy. So I don't want to like break your wallet if. Yeah, go ahead, Malik.
No, you're good.
Okay.
No, I'm just yahing.
Okay. Yeah, so each of these has three volumes in each of them. So, you know, I just got the 14th one, which is the latest one to come out, and that 1 through 14 constitutes every one of the chapters that was written by Miura. So that's, you know, technically the full story if you want to not go beyond that. But yeah, these are great quality.
Yippee!
Yeah.
They're
Did you buy it?
No, I said
nice.
yippee because I checked my Amazon account and I had credits applied from something that got returned, so it only cost me $8.
Yippee! Nice.
Yippee!
Nice. Yeah. So
I need to buy. I have to 11. I need to buy 12, 13, and 14.
Yeah. And that was part of this is like I started getting these books and I'm like I'm never actually gonna read these unless I do like a.
Mine are still sealed.
Yeah. No, I open them right away, but yeah, I figured one thing I can say about getting through this series and you know, like if you're intimidated by manga at all or the amount of chapters that you see here, what I can say is that my dad is currently reading through this. So, and he's up to book 4.
And old people can't read. Right?
Yeah, I mean the fact that he's crossing the boundary of learning to read right to left and like understanding panel composition to try and like make it beyond the points that he watched in the animated movies is I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what I'm thinking that we will read for the next section, and since you know we're gonna be like if Logan's gonna order a book, we can probably just push it like 2 weeks out if that would work. But it's gonna be a bit of a smaller section. It's just gonna be the first 8 chapters, which makes up the first arc of Berserk, which is the Black Swordsman arc. And I think that will.
It's only 8 chapters. I felt like it was longer when I read it.
Yep, it's they might be longer chapters, but yeah, it's a good prologue to Berserk, and a good starting point to get the discussion started. One thing that I will say about the first 8 chapters is that it is a prologue, and because of that, it is not entirely representative of what the rest of the series will become. And because of that, if you have any like trouble with the vibe or anything, just realize that it's not always going to be like this. That's kind of cryptic, but I just thought it was something worth mentioning. But yeah, I mean, does anyone have any sort of questions about anything?
What's the pace we're looking to go at here?
So I think once we get the
volume a week.
I think once we get the Black
arc 3 volumes.
Yeah. What we could do is, because if we let me take this into another screen here just in case. So I think that if we were going to, like, okay, so let me just screenshot this and we'll use this as a reference. So, like, for example, this is kind of weird. Like, it's only 8 chapters, the Black Swordsman arc, but it's technically 3 volumes. So it's about the first full book that Austin has. And I'm thinking that we, once we get past this, we'll probably talk about that. And then we'll probably do, like, the first 3 to 4 volumes of the next arc, and then 3 to 4, 3 to 4, 3 to 4. Or we'll go up to a specific scene that I think would be a good stopping point for the discussion of that, like, next section. So yeah, about like 3 volumes per session, so that would be one. If you were to get the physical volumes, Logan, that would be one of those deluxe volume books per session. And I would be fine, just so that we're not rushing people, if we did that every other week on whatever day works for people. Does that make sense, or is that?
I know that's fine.
Okay, cool.
We're going through
Yeah.
one of those deluxe edition books, which is I think 14 chapters, right?
It depends on the arc.
14 books. Okay.
It's 3 volumes. Each deluxe edition is 3 volumes.
Yeah.
So roughly, if 3 volumes, if you don't do deluxe, or 1 deluxe book every 2 weeks.
Yeah. Some of the books are like this, and then like some are like this. So they're
I can't see what
different
you're
size.
pointing at.
Oh yeah, we still see Amazon.
Oh.
You'll have to change your stream to stream.
Yeah. Hold on.
Also, how's the recording going?
Oh, it's good.
Is this gonna be
Yeah, I've got OBS up.
nice? We're gonna be famous.
We can try.
Yeah.
Could be.
I mean,
have chemistry.
all right. Yeah. I mean,
Bit of a boop.
if this kicks off and we have good discussions, I will try and do some light editing around stuff. And if you guys are okay with it at that point, I'll just put it up on YouTube, and we can just let it
happen.
Let it flow
happen.
into
Whatever
the
happens,
ether.
happens.
Yeah. As long as everyone's cool with it. But yeah, I thought it. I thought that this would be a good opportunity, personally, for me to get into
reading the physical stuff that you actually got, or
no,
just reading it.
No, I was going more in the direction of as opposed to just consuming content, to actually like produce something, because I feel like I have a lot to say about Berserk, that like things that I have seen and noticed and taken observation of, and I haven't seen anyone else talk about it in video essays, and I thought that this would be a sort of a good outlet to get those kind of ideas out there, without actually having to, create like a full form video with, professional grade editing and whatnot. So, plus it's a good opportunity to read through all of it and talk with you guys. So,
Yeah, I've been telling Maria, I've been meaning to join like some sort of book club where I can not only just read or consume something, but I can also reflect on it.
Yeah.
And I think having a discussion about it as you read it helps you internalize it more.
Yeah. I mean, cause like I don't like reading books, but when I was forced to read books in high school and talk about it for like literature classes, like I enjoyed that shit. That was fun. Like talking about it with other people.
I mean,
yeah.
It'd be cool if this could grow beyond just Berserk.
Well,
we could go,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And like, and I don't mean just like Berserk but like grow beyond just manga. Maybe I don't know. I don't want to like get ahead of ourselves, but like there are some great American comic books that I'm sure a lot of us have never read.
Sure.
That are like totally like standalone. I'm not talking like Spider-Man stuff and stuff like that. I'm talking like standalone, like indie stuff. Like
The Killing Joke. Oh.
I was going to think the one I was going to give an example. It's a great one that I would recommend is Where's it at over there so I can read the title because I always say it wrong.
Yeah, while he's getting that.
Saga's his name, but
Saga, cool. Yeah.
That's the main character's name.
Cool.
In my head, so.
Yeah, I mean, a huge inspiration to me is this channel on YouTube called Resonant Arc, which they do essentially like book clubs for. They do it sometimes for movies. I think they did one on Evangelion, if I'm not mistaken, but they primarily do them for video games. And I think it's just like such a cool format and way to consume things. And I think that when you reflect on things and talk through them with people, you derive way more value than you would have if you're just passively consuming them, and not really giving yourself time to sit back and reflect. So yeah, I think it'll be cool. I think I hope that all of you enjoy your time with what we're doing here, and if at any point you're not feeling it, do not feel bad at all if you feel the need to just say that and drop off. But I think it should be a pretty enjoyable experience. I mean, I hope it is. So cool.
Sure. Same.
Yeah. Well, I guess to end it off, what is a good future Berserk question to ask?
With no context of what you know about the series, let's just say now, what type of character y'all think Guts is? I think that's actually a good one.
Okay.
As a
prediction. that's a great question. Yeah. Yep. Let's do that.
I assume he's not necessarily a hero. He may be an anti-hero in a way, where maybe he's just doing the right thing, maybe not the thing he wants to do, or I don't know. So maybe he'll change into a hero, or he won't be a hero. I don't know.
The only thing I've drawn from Guts is he never smiles, and I want to know why.
Well, maybe he does smile.
I've never seen a picture of him smiling. Every picture I see of him, he's either like, he's battle torn, or he's just like screaming, or he's just crying. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
he seems sad.
Well,
and I hope he gets happy.
Okay.
We all do, buddy.
Yeah. Everyone wants what's best for this man.
Well, I mean, that tells us enough about his character then.
Yeah.
If everybody wants what's best for him, I'm assuming he's a pretty good guy.
Yeah, and before Malik says his thing, I just want to say one thing that I'm so fucking excited about is, when you open up a new series and it just opens up the floodgates for like understanding memes that you didn't have context for in the past.
Like I'm watching The Matrix for the first time or something.
I'm ready to send you guys so much shit.
Oh, perfect.
What were you gonna say, Malik?
I mean, pretty much when it comes to Guts, all I get out of it is he's like the most reactionary character ever. Like stuff just happens to Guts, like constantly. I don't really know if Guts ever thinks about what he's gonna do or cares until the story's gonna make him. So I'm curious, like, I just want to know who Guts actually is, because I feel like Guts is just an angry person that had a lot of terrible stuff happen to him up until a certain point in the manga. So I'm curious what an original thought of his, other than, without saying too much, like vengeance or just rage is.
Yeah. The philosophy, and we'll get into this, of the way that Guts Guts lives his life, and how that evolves throughout the series is definitely one of the things that we'll be touching on in this. And definitely, if anyone's open to sharing how that maybe applies to certain real life scenarios. But yeah, so yeah, I think we hit everyone there. So okay, well then let's tentatively just plan to read those next 8 chapters, and if it turns out that people get done and we can meet earlier than 2 weeks from now, I'm more than happy to do that. Just because it is a bit of a shorter chunk, but for now, let's just. Well, actually, we have the Christmas party planned on the 27th for a friend group, so it would just have to be, sometime soon. We'll plan around it in the chat.
On this chat, so we can figure it out.
Yeah, that's fine. Yep. So I will post in the chat once I'm done reading and like taking notes and stuff like that. And as sort of the originator of this, I'll be making it a point to take notes and kind of have a guided discussion to try and take things and like through the full narrative so that we cover everything. But I'm open to like take the discussion wherever it flows freely, but just in case there ends up being any like dead air points, we can just like pivot onto that at any point. So cool. Well, thank you all, appreciate your time, and I guess enjoy your reading.
Yeah, thank you for the invite, man.
Yeah, sure thing. All right,
looking forward to it.
Talk to you all later. Bye.
Yeah, see you later.
Peace.